Okay, today I'm going to show you how to install the Sanden SD7 AC compressor bracket kit. I'll tell you the tools required, what needs to be done. This is a brand new Gen 3 Coyote, so 18 to 23, 5-liter engine. This will be the same for any Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, and Gen 4 Mustang. Same goes for 11 to 20 F-150 engine as well. So you're going to want to lop off this little standoff or stud right here. So I like to use a Sawzall for that. Does not have to be scientific. You're just going to want to just cut this on an angle and get rid of this nub. So I will do that right now to take off as part 1 here, and then we'll get to installing this bracket. Okay, here's the timing cover block with the nub cut off. Here's the piece just so you can see it. Again, nothing fancy. From here, you're going to remove these two 10mm bolts in the timing cover. Make room for this bracket. Pull the bolts out. You could save these, sell them, whatever you'd like to do there. And then this bracket has male nubs. Don't mind my nail polish, my daughter. This bracket has 2 nubs on it, which need to face the timing cover for spacing. So it's going to go like that, and you can see it has the cutout to miss this boss. So now you will use the 2 supplied smaller bolts, which are these right here, flange head matching bolts. Those will go in the timing cover and hold the bracket up. So do that. One goes there. And the other one goes right in there. You don't have to lock tight or crank these things down really yet. I'm not doing a full final torque. I'm just trying to show you how this is all oriented and how this works. So now you have these 2 holes on the block right here. They're both threaded. That's for the original AC compressor. And you're going to put this nub or bracket on the block now. And then it's going to sit like so. So you want the fat end sitting towards the end of the timing cover, because you're going to use this long bolt here. Is basically a through bolt, and it's going to go through the compressor and into the edge of this bracket right here, like so, and it will thread in and be done. You're going to use these 2 countersunk screws right here, which takes a T30 Torx, or you can use an Allen, and these will install into these countersunk holes in there. And then this last remaining bolt is going to go through the face and bolt the compressor to it. So I will grab the compressor now. I'm going to bolt this to the block. Again, you could use Loctite if you wanted to. You can crank these down if you want to. It's really not super necessary. Okay, here's how it should look. Bolted up, just like that. Here's our SD7. There's a black colored unit. You can get a natural finish one from us, but I prefer the black one. I just think it matches and looks better with the front drive. These are not necessarily beautiful engines to begin with. So if I can, I'd like to run the black just because I like the way that looks better. So what you're going to do is you're going to line this up. You can see this is threaded right here. So this will line up with the bracket here. And you're going to run the short bolt in. And then you're going to want this compressor to install just like so. So inside, outside, just like that. And you can see it lines up with the drive perfectly. So now you'll run this long through bolt through it from the back side, so the threads from the bolt are going to come through right here and thread into the compressor. So I'll go ahead and install that right now. Alright, so you can see the bolt is lined up in the hole. You're going to have to usually give the bolt a few bumps to get it to slide in, because these compressors have this little bushing on them. So if they get compressed, it's going to be very tight against the bracket. You're going to have to uncompress it. So if you mess up or don't get this tight, see it move on its axis there, and that's it. She's on there, she's tight. Now you can rotate the compressor up, and then this usually makes contact with the bracket right here. Okay, so with the compressor on, you do not have to send the bolt home or tight yet, because what's going to happen is when you come up, the compressor is going to make contact with the bracket right there. So you're going to have to get the compressor to kind of sit behind this bracket. It takes a little effort. You might want to use 2 hands, and then you will use the last remaining bolt here, which is a 12mm head bolt. So you need a 12, a 13, a T30 and a 10 to complete this task. It should take you, you know, all of 15-20 minutes. And then you can either use a stretch belt to go from the compressor to the crank pulley, or you can use the F-150 style where you put a tensioner here and an idler up here, and then you just run it on a belt just like stock truck would. If you do not want to do that, or you're running a reverse accessory drive kit like this one's going to be, where the alternators flip backwards, then it's going to go alternator, tensioner, AC compressor, crank pulley, and done. And that uses a 52.5-inch belt. So I'm just going to get this compressor up here and mount it to that really quick, and then I'll show you its final product here. There it is. That's the final product. Just tighten down this 12mm. Here is your trigger for the compressor, and that's how she looks on there. Tighter clearance over stock, so if clearance is an issue, then this is your ideal compressor bracket. This will also work with the KRC system, which mounts a Type 2 power steering pump here. And again, you'll just use a stretch belt for the compression of the crank. KRC supplies you with their own pulley belt, and it just piggybacks off the water pump. And that's it. You can buy these on the site as a complete kit. You will get compressor, bracket, and stretch belt, or you can do a complete accessory drive, or you can do just compressor only. I also offer it in natural finish, but again, I prefer the black. I just think it looks better. But any questions, feel free to message, email. Happy to consult and help.